Incense. It's I read it today. Shit. I get it.
Yeah, but that's an example. They was trying to twist the law to suit themselves, so they can still rock their little fitteds while they preaching.
That's a Greek fashion. That's way after, time of Moses.
Yeah, that's why the whole rejection of Paul.
Oils and perfume.
Yeah, that's part of why they were saying, oh well, him saying that he doesn't have authority to say that.
Yeah.
So we and that's where the hypocrisy comes in, because you'll quote Paul when it's convenient for you. But when it comes to applying it to yourself, oh no, that's not authoritative. We don't gotta listen to that. So that's why the Lord is dismantling Sakari right now. That all them dudes leaving,
Just like all these other groups that's not sincere. What happened to Comfy and them? Dismantle. You got people, the dismantling of the IUIC gonna be even greater.
Way worse.
Way worse.
He might have said them for last.
Yeah, it's really. They the biggest, most popular,
I'm good for another.
Some people. You have something? Let me read. I was still reading.
Read 18. In that, one of you brothers.
Somebody gets second. Also gets 2 John, verse 10 and 11.
Sirach 32 and 18, real quick. Sensible people will consider every opinion, but arrogant people will let nothing stand in their way.
Get what they want.
Yeah.
Get their point across. See, this whole call a cop order, and it's sad that the same thing is used against two different individuals. Somebody against the Hebrew Israelites and somebody that claims to be a Hebrew Israelite. Why do this have to be the same tactic used against you? Because your minds ain't right. Your sincerity ain't in the right place.
And they don't understand that. Their response is, oh, that's fucked up. You're going to call on a fellow brother or whatever.
Just don't fuck with us then.
Right. But they don't see that the part you just explained. Like, it's not about calling the police. If you probably come to the camp, brothers probably ain't going to call the police. But it's just we're not fucking with you, man.
Yeah. You're trying to get it through your thick skulls that we just not going to deal with you. So if that means saying, hey, brother, just call the cops on the nigga. That don't mean the apostle is literally saying, that's an order to dial 911 and literally call your law enforcement to get them a wit. Nah, man.
Yeah, they down there. They got garments on.
But of course, that gave something for him to go back and cry about. See, they're not standing upon being defenders of the gospel. I took them on by myself. Like he's trying to, he's trying to make a name for himself. He might try to outdo the guerrilla Hebrew. Now that he's separated from him, now he might try to,
We already said we were talking about that before camp. That shit gonna get messy.
Hell yeah, it is.
It's gonna get messy. Something gonna come out about this one. They're gonna be going back and forth.
Yeah.
Hey, with them as niggas, it may turn to this.
Yeah, they may get caught.
Because Sakari, they was having inside fightings too. It was division among the Sakari. You read the history. Because guess what? Like who was that? Gamaliel that said it. If this thing be of men, it'll come to naught.
That's said the Bible.
If somebody go to that account, Acts 5. Because you have men that rose up, and they had a following, and they was, people thought that they was somebody. And what happened at the end? Yeah, like 34, 5 and like 34.
This is Acts 5 and 34. Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space, and said unto them, you men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, in all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught.
Yeah.
After this,
It's no different than guys who rose up in the past generations. All right.
the Apostle Ramla went into the history and said them dudes was really cowards. Because they would be a crowd and they would, stab people and then run off into the crowd. And in the ancient world, you fought a man face to face. It wasn't no. That's some coward shit.
Yeah, that word Sakari, it means dagger. It also means murderer. Yeah, it means murderer. Okay. And these dudes were in that.
Murderer.
Right. So these dudes were in that murderous spirit. These dudes were very carnal, man. The Lord wasn't with their cause. Because they was moving on their own accord. They didn't want to pay tribute to Caesar.
What's that game? They sneak around.
Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Right. I think one of the verses of it goes into that.
Yeah, Assassin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay for hire too.
Yeah.
After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the day of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Most High Yahweh, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against the Most High.
So it don't matter if you got a bunch of men that are cleaving unto you and following you. If the Most High, if the Heavenly Father is not with it, eventually that shit is going to break apart.
Yep.
The Lord's going to deal with the leader, and then the rest of them are going to scatter. They're going to wither away. So if dudes are set up just to be stumbling blocks to a lot of undesirables that the Lord ain't dealing with, and the Lord's going to allow them to be taken by it. There's more false prophets out there than there are the true prophets. That's what makes the path to salvation that much narrow. That's what makes it straight and narrow, man. Because you gotta go through dealing with all these seducing spirits and false teachers and false prophets. And it's gonna take for a divine spirit to be on you. That spirit of discernment. Now what I did was in response to that, right? You go to that account in Acts 21st chapter. Start around the 37th verse. Acts 21 and 37. Because this was in Paul's time.
Acts 21 and verse 37. And as Paul, who to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art thou an Egyptian? Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness, 4,000 men that were murderers?
See that? Now, this is when you're dealing with the history on this account. There was a particular man who was setting up a council to go and try to overthrow the government in Jerusalem. They was going to try to go and knock down the forts, and basically they was planning a coup. And he led all those men to get put to death. And he fled to the freaking desert. Read that again. 21 and 38.
38. Art thou that Egyptian, which before these days made us an uproar and lead us out into the wilderness, 4,000 men that were murderers. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Sicilia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. And when he had given him license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people.
All right, that's it. That's it. All right, now let me real quick. Let me bring this history out. It says the historicity of the Egyptian insurrectionists mentioned in Acts 21 and 38. It says in Acts 21, 27 through 40, we read about a riotous lynch mob that attacked Paul on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem and his subsequent arrest by Roman soldiers. Historical sources and archaeological finds corroborate many of the details of this narrative in fascinating ways. Still, one peculiar point stands out to many readers as inviting further explanation. Shortly after Paul's arrest, the Roman commander is surprised to discover that Paul is not the Egyptian who led a revolt and gathered assassins in the wilderness. Paul clarifies that he is not, and the account moves on, leaving us to wonder who this seemingly well-known revolutionary was and why the commander mistook Paul for him. As it turns out, we do have more information on the man from at least one other source, and their background is worth considering. Before getting into the, well, let me jump down, because they take a lot of the source from Josephus, the historian, right? It says, let me jump down, and it says, Josephus seems to describe the same man immediately after the passage cited the impostors and deceivers. He writes, moreover, there came out of Egypt about this time to Jerusalem one that said he was a prophet, and advised the multitude of the common people to go along with them to the Mount of Olives, as it was called, which lay over against the city, and at the distance of 5 furlongs. He said further that he would show them from hence how, at his command, the walls of Jerusalem would fall down. And he promised them that he would procure them an entrance into the city through those walls when they were falling down. Now when Felix, which was the Roman governor, was informed of these things, he ordered his soldiers to take their weapons and came against them with a great number of horsemen and footmen from Jerusalem, and attacked the Egyptian and the people that were with them. He also slew 400 of them and took 200 alive. But the Egyptian himself escaped out of the fight and did not appear anymore. See that?
Yeah, he didn't go down with the ship, bro.
And again, the robbers stirred up the people to make war with the Romans and said they ought not to obey them at all. And when any persons would not comply with them, they set fire to their villages and plundered them. So these niggas were straight up troublemakers, man.
And
See?
so, I just want to kind of paint a picture. We can see that happening now. We can see once we become outlaws because of what we believe, we know that's coming, that they can go through the hood and just persecute the people until they give us up.
And they try to lump us in with you got a bunch of rebels and renegade rogue Israelites out there that's not representing right. And all the people are seeing is, oh, these dudes, they on the streets just like these other guys.
And we all look the same to them.
Yep.
They don't care about the doctrine.
Yep.
You know?
You still reading President?
Yeah, real quick. Now, when you go in the blue letter in Acts 21 and 38, where it says that were murderers, the Greek word there is Sicarios.
Yeah. Here you go.
G4607
Murderer, right?
for the word murderer, Sicarios. Okay? Daggerman or assassin. One who carries a dagger or short sword under his clothing, that he may kill secretly and treacherously anyone he wishes to.
They got the straps at camp.
They carry those sticks now.
They carry the
don't
sticks at camp, man.
It says a cutthroat.
they? Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Abstain from all appearances of evil. Even down to your name, that can put a negative stigma on